challenge is to advance the segment styling, still create a premium driving experience, and integrate next-gen technology. That's really some big areas where you really need to be successful in this mid-size segment. So real quick, we wanted to create a mid-size class above sedan. I want to show you an overview of how we achieved this, and then we're going to dig down deeper into each of these areas. For the interior-exterior aura, we did things like utilize NASA research to create a zero-gravity and feeling seat. We also have a rewarding driver experience that has a completely redesigned rear suspension. And integrating next-gen technology, including blind spot and lane departure warning, which is tough to find in this segment. So starting off with that class above styling, premium exterior. We wanted to utilize the Kanishino effect of the coat of arms in Japan. The stylists used this to give an emotional, evocative design in the front end with the shape of the grille. Also giving groundbreaking presence and styling for the overall shape and profile. When we get up to the cars, take a look at the curvature of the sheet metal. It's tough to find anything like that coming from some of our competitors. They don't really push the envelope like we do. And we even created the deepest draw trunk lid stamping in Nissan history. We're really pushing the envelope with this car to advance the segment styling. I touched on this a little bit earlier. Our engineers over in Japan utilized research done by NASA with the ideal shape of the human posture in a zero-gravity environment. That was their baseline, and then they really get deeper into the pressure points and optimize it for a road vehicle. They've proven that this increases blood flow, decreases muscular load, and lowers the fatigue. So we think you'll be pretty pleased with the seats in this car. Inside, the absorbent materials have increased by 30%. We're pretty proud of our headliners. Pretty thick. You know, when you hold them, I've held them both side by side compared to the Camry to ours, and ours is much thicker. We even have this big thinsulate pad right above the driver and over the middle of the car to absorb a lot of the sound coming from outside. And also we've integrated perforated leather seats. This is not really common in the mid-size segment. A lot of leather seats are not perforated. We think that this will give a little bit better feeling, a little bit more airflow between you and your seat and you. Moving on to the rewarding driving experience. This is really where they push an envelope. I like this feature a lot. I don't know if we should stay on too long, but basically they redesigned the rear suspension to give class-leading lateral rigidity, but still give a really nice, stable, controlled cornering experience. We benchmarked the BMW 3 Series, Mercedes C-Class, and Audi A4. We have the highest lateral rigidity of any of those cars. The only one that has a little bit more tow compliance than us is the BMW 3 Series. So if you toss this into a turn within the speed limit, you'll find that this is a pretty stable car, and it gives you a stable cruising feel as well. This also has active understeer control. This is also a really cool feature. If you're going into a turn a little bit too fast and you turn the steering wheel, instead of kind of plowing through the turn, it'll break the inside wheels and pivot the car your intended direction. It's so subtle that a lot of people will never notice it. Really, the way we found that people notice is if you have a skid pad and you throw sand on it, people are like, wow, this really rotates well. So it's really almost, it makes you maybe a better driver than you really think you are by really you don't feel any buzzing or anything. It just really helps rotate the car through the turns. Also, we wanted to improve our CVT. I mean, you've probably heard a lot about Nissan CVT over the past several years. We've made great strides with this new CVT. One of the key things we wanted to do with this was lower the driving RPM at highway speeds. At around 60 miles per hour, the engine's only turning around 1,450 RPM, so that really is almost idle speed, and you really can tell when you're driving on the highway that this really takes the engine speed down, allows for conversations to happen inside the cabin. You don't have any high, buzzy sound from the engine. Also, we've reduced the friction, expanded the gear ratio range, and I'll talk a little bit about this later, how that affects fuel economy. Weight reduction. We did a lot of stuff in the car as far as utilizing high-strength steel, aluminum, optimizing part design throughout the car. This picture itself is not indicative of materials, but we used aluminum crush members in the front and the rear. We used high-strength steel on the A-pillars to get a safe but high-strength and lightweight white body design. Also, we did do a little work on this four-cylinder. We added a variable valve time in the exhaust. We have a tunnel valve that improved, that adds another power curve middle of the way through the RPM range. It also has a smart alternator that really optimizes to charge the battery only on deceleration, not during acceleration as much, or cruising. So that when you're slowing down, that's when it really works to charge the battery, not as you're cruising at a highway speed. So that's really another thing that helps achieve high fuel economy. And we wanted to keep this V6. We're pretty proud of this V6. It's DQ series. It's a storied past. It's been awards Automotive Engine of the Year many years. We know that the competition has 2.0 liter turbos, and they're doing that for the sake of fuel economy. The fuel economy on this V6 is 22 city, 31 highway, so it's pretty close. Combined, it's only one off the Sonata, and we think that it gives a much better premium drive feel. It's not as, there's no turbo lag, there's the refinement, the noise, vibration, and harshness of this engine is really top level. It's much more luxurious than you'll find in the turbocharged four-cylinder. Moving on to the next-gen technology we wanted. So I've covered the styling, I've covered the rewarding driving experience. I want to talk about the technology in this car because there's a lot of cool stuff. This feature is like a 3D effect mirror. We call it the Advanced Drive Assist Displays, right nestled between the tachometer and the speedometer. And it's standard on all cars. It gives you the information you need right when you need it. It also gives you information about what radio station you're on. When you have the tire, on certain models you have the individual tire pressure shown on this. Also, if you have Navi-equipped vehicle, we'll show you a little arrow. Here comes your turn, so you don't need to look down at your Navi. It has it right there. And we found through research that at highway speeds, just the split seconds between looking in the middle of your car to looking up, that could be about 20 to 40 feet at highway speeds. And that could save, some fender benders if you like. Smartphone integration. We have hands-free text message assistant. What this will do is if you have your phone linked up via Bluetooth, a text message will come in and it'll say, you have a text message, would you like me to read it? You can say, oh, read it to me, and it'll read it out loud. You don't even look at your phone, you can just keep watching where you're going and it'll read you the text out loud. So we think this is a pretty safe way to still communicate with the people you want to, but not compromise the safety of driving a vehicle. There's also canned responses. You can say, okay, I'm driving. It'll ask you to choose from a canned response. You can quickly respond via the steering wheel controls to say, hey, I got your message, I'm still driving, or you can make up your own. So we also have Pandora integration, so you can get thumbs up, thumbs down on some phone you like. Google POI search. I think this is a cool feature. You really can, if you're driving in an area that maybe is recently developed, there's a new local place, and the navigation can't find it, you can switch over to Google POI search and do a Google search, and then you can find it via Google, and it'll help you plug in the restaurant you're searching for as maybe a local hotspot. And also Google Send a Car. You're sitting at your computer before you head on your trip. You say, oh, how do I get there? You type in to the map, I'm going over to whatever beach, and pick it off and send it straight to your car. That way you don't need to sit in your car and type it all in letter by letter. You've already sent it from your personal computer over to your car. This stuff is part of our safety shield technology. You've probably seen it in some of our commercials before. This is all from a rear view camera. Basically, through the processing, we can tell you if somebody's moving in your blind spot and alert you. Also, lane departure. If you begin to drift, it detects that you're moving out of your lane and gives you a little alert, a little beep, hey, stay in the lane. And also, if you're backing out of your driveway, it detects movement behind your car and can alert you, hey, be careful. A little box shows up around your rear view camera screen, tells you somebody's moving in your behind you. So we think this is a great feature that really promotes safety. And also a couple other things, Easy Fill Tire Alert. I don't know if you guys have seen how this works. There's a video online now, YouTube, of how this functions. Basically, all cars have tire pressure monitoring system. It shows up, hey, your tire pressure is low. You get to the gas station. You don't need a tire gauge. You just go to the pump. You put it on the gauge, and you start filling it. The car blinks its flasher, saying to you, "I know you're filling my tires." When you reach its pressure, it knows when you reach the pressure. It gives you a quick chirp of the horn, so you know, oh, I've reached my level. If you keep filling it, if you decide to be mischievous with your car, it'll beat more until you've overfilled. So you can let it all out and do it all over again. Also, remote engine start. We're adding this feature, I believe on SV grades, and above, I'll double check that, but it allows you to cool down the car before you get in it. It'll run for about 10 minutes. Initial cycle time plus a 10-minute extension, so you can really get your car cool if you don't want to jump into a hot car on a hot day. So I touched on a few things earlier, alluded to our fuel economy, and I just want to start off by telling you what else is out there. The Volkswagen Passat gas vehicle gets 31 miles a gallon. The Honda Accord gets a very good 34 miles a gallon. The Camry and Sonata both get 35 miles a gallon, which are very good numbers. The Malibu Eco, which is a mild hybrid, is out on the roads right now. It gets around 37 miles per gallon highway. And the Fusion will have an Eco Boost that's coming out this fall. This is an optional engine, it'll get 37. Nissan Altima gets 38 miles per gallon highway standard. This is no special package, you don't need to buy a turbocharged engine on the base car. Right out of the box, you get 38 miles per gallon, which beats a lot of compact cars and subcompact cars.
The 3.5?
This is the 2.5 liter four-cylinder. The V6 also gets admirable highway at 31, but 38 miles per gallon. We think this is a great value story for people, especially as we move forward in the future. You know, gas prices almost certainly are going to go up. So we think this speaks to the heart of the need in the midsize segment, and we felt like this was #1 goal to achieve. How do we achieve it? Touched on these a little bit earlier. A big part of this is CVT. We're pretty proud of it. We're pretty proud of our expertise in CVT. We've leveraged a lot of that. Aerodynamics. We have 0.299 coefficient of drag on this vehicle, which is pretty slippery. Mass reduction, touched on that earlier. Rolling resistance, that smart alternator that tries to only charge during deceleration, that helped a little bit too, as well as other engine improvements. So I talked about everything in this car. This is a little bit of the pricing. A lot of standard features at $21,500. I touched on the advanced drive assist display. We know a lot of people are using Bluetooth these days. That's standard. Remote keyless entry standard, as well as the active understeer control, that little bit of dynamic control that I mentioned earlier. Our popular model will be the 2.5 SV. That's where you add alloy wheels, that remote engine start, the rear view monitor, that also comes into play, and also Nissan Connect with that Android connectivity, XM radio, hands-free text message system. And then on top of that, the convenience package is available for moonroof on the sunny days. Navigation package also has the Loop POI, and those are the values accordingly. And then the SL is where you add leather, all those amenities that you find in 30,000 plus, $40,000 vehicles, you'll find in Nissan Altima at 28. Forgot the technology package is also about a $1,000 package. That adds the blind spot warning, lane departure warning, and moving object detection. And then here's our grade strategy for the V6 models. Very similar to the 2.5